This video was written by Super TF. I don't know why, but I kind of feel like Blizzard's probably never gonna recognize me. But anyway, I think I should make a game mode out of this, where everyone is a Winston plane. It's just like a dogfighting custom game. Alright, let's make this. Typically you find gorillas on the ground, but we want our gorilla in the sky. It would be silly just to have Winston fly up, so instead, when the game starts, I'll teleport all players above the skybox to have this amazing view. Then I needed to add a third-person camera so you could see your Winston. I'm not very good at camera stuff. Okay, there we go, that's better. Then I made Winston fly in the direction he's facing. Easy enough so far, I'm sure it'll stay that way. I made some more adjustments to the camera, and I also started experimenting with making him look like a plane. I can already tell this is gonna be such a silly game mode. The appearance of the wings will change throughout the video as I tweak it. Then it was time for the most important aspect of the game mode. Projectiles. I also had to tweak the camera more so you can actually see where you're shooting, and make a custom crosshair. I even made boosters, as well as brakes that made it easier to slow down and aim. The explosion effect for killing other players was also pretty good. Things were going too well, at least until I came across some major issues. Even with the dynamic crosshair I made, it was hard to aim. And worst of all, the longer the game went on, the projectiles just stopped spawning. So I decided to get some help. That's when a big brain in my Discord decided to help me. We added crashing into other players, which is awesome.
Oh, hello.
And came to the conclusion that there were just too many effects going on, which was breaking things. So we made the booster effect less intensive on the server. Also, to help players aim, I made Winston's projectiles, instead of normal projectiles, into homing projectiles. And this made aiming much more reliable. However, there's tragic news for this game mode. The workshop has a lot of bugs, and unfortunately, they just don't update it very much. But where I'm getting at is, no matter what I did, after a few minutes of gameplay, projectiles just stopped working completely in my game mode. It didn't matter if I reduced the amount of players, reduced the amount of projectiles, removed the amount of effects, there was nothing I could do, and the game mode could not be completed. Unless I got creative. I'm not good at the workshop because I know what I'm doing. I'm good at the workshop because I can find creative solutions. Heck, if I don't know how to make a projectile, I'll make it out of a torb. That's not a joke, I actually did that for a video. I don't know how to make a trackable projectile, so the Rasen Shuriken is literally an invisible Torbjorn. It's so beautiful. So instead of using custom projectiles, I'll attach two Sojourns and just use theirs. Unfortunately, this brought a few new issues. On bright maps, you can't even see the projectiles, so I simply disabled all maps during the day, sadly. Also, when not aiming at an enemy, I like that they shoot straight on, but how can I make it so both Sojourns hit an enemy at the same time? I came up with the idea to lock the Sojourn's aim onto the enemy if you're aiming at them. And if your aim is off, you'll just miss. And that actually worked pretty great. Well, until you give all the other Winstons their Sojourns. My Sojourns started locking onto the enemy Sojourns, making it nearly impossible to hit the Winston. However, after hours of trying to figure out how to only aim at the Winstons, I finally got it working. But after all this time, I had finally completed the game mode. Sometimes making these game modes don't really do that well on my channel, so do what you can to get this in the algorithm and I'll make more. Thanks for watching.